right, guys, let's all bring it in. Guys, we are working these first weeks on butterfly positions. Who wants to be on the YouTube channel today? Who? Tony. All right, I have Tony right here. Okay, so guys, what we've been talking about and we've been emphasizing just from a standing position, just a very, very important concept. Like if Tony is in a square stance, right now, that stance, yep. Right now his weight is evenly distributed, right? So if I push him to the left, to the right, back and forth, like he's pretty much even if he's standing like this. If he leans forward, obviously, maybe his weight's gonna be a little more forward, etc. But for the time being, he's equal on all sides. However, if I'm able to make his ear, his chin, and his shoulder touch like this, if I'm able to do this to him, all his weight is now censored onto this side, all right? And a lot of my takedowns are gonna be predicated on this. And there's also gonna be a lot of openings for underhooks on this side, or when he switches his head back to the other side, on the other side as well, right? So if you're able to do this to someone, then you're really manipulating their weight, right? So we were discussing this from the butterfly position, all right? So we're gonna add a couple of things. So first thing is, when we're in front of each other, first of all, it's really important to understand the distances. Right now, there's like a little bit of gap between us. This is good and bad for me. The reason it's good for me is because there's no effective guard passes that he can do for me. I'm gonna see them coming a mile away. Like Tony, go for a body lock on me. Like I see it coming, it's very easy for me to block it. Whereas if I'm a little bit closer, I can get him, but he's also able to really quickly get into a body lock on me as well, right? So there's gonna be a little bit of a distance. Our hands are gonna be up, and what I'm looking to do is capture both of his hands, all right? So for just a split second, I wanna make sure that I have control over his hands, and this way he's not gripping me and I'm gripping him. And then from here, I'm gonna scooch in, I'm gonna discard one, and as I discard one, I'm gonna switch my grip from here to here, okay? And I'm doing that same thing I just showed from the standing position. I'm folding his ear and his chin towards his shoulder. I'm taking away this post, I'm folding out to my side, and I'm hitting him with a quick sweep. Once you get up, guys, this is a little bit of a gray area. A couple of things can happen. Since I don't have an underhook, he could wrestle up with his hand, and then now he can put me right back to where we were. That's option number one. Option number two is he can take this hand, go underneath my leg, and roll out the back door, and same story, now he's back on top of me. Okay, so when you land, don't get too excited. You need to solidify an underhook either on the top or on the bottom, all right? So again, I'm here, I win my hand fight, I discard, I go through here, immediately I go for my underhook here, so it's very hard for him to start to wrestle up, all right? Try to be a little closer if you can, all right? But sometimes it's gonna depend on them, they're gonna put their knee in, etc. All right, maybe I'm gonna have to retreat and now I'm gonna have to deal with this, but I still scored my 2 points, all right? So again, we're here. We're in front of each other, there's a little bit of a gap. I win the hand fight, I discard, and then I switch my grips immediately, all right? I start to go. One reaction that he can do is he can start to post this leg because he doesn't have a leg available. Okay, once we're here, look at the direction of the toes. Wherever the toes are, all right? Wherever the toes are is where I'm gonna pull the foot. You're gonna be tempted to pull it towards you, but as you can see, nothing happens. But look what happens when I pull it in the direction of the toes. It looks like he slipped on a banana peel, right? So come back a step, Tony. As that's happening, sag neck, I'm gonna build up to my shin and I'm pushing him with this forearm like this. Guys, this becomes an interesting position because here, usually we tell you, in relation to points, don't fall for legs. But Jackson, this is a great position to fall for a leg because if I start to go for a belly down ankle lock here, if I finish it, great. If I don't finish it, I still got my 2 points. I'm technically on top of him. For Cal and for Malik and for others, sometimes I'm gonna start to post my head and I can start to backstep into legs, saddles as well. All right, so this becomes a really strong position to attack legs, and as long as I'm here, I still get my 2 points for competitive purposes. But if it's not working, maybe full lock is not part of your game, you can turn back, push the foot over, and now I'm in my knee cut position, ready to pass his guard, all right? So again, once more, so I'm gonna be here, I collect the hands, I scooch in, I'm going for my position, he posts. I pull it away, I push with my forearm, and I rock up onto my knee. To keep it basic, I'm gonna step over, find my underhook, find another underhook, find a crossface, look to pass depending on the way I like to pass from this position, all right? And the third scenario is gonna be an important concept in fighting, guys. The concept we're talking about is, like if he does a Muay Thai plum, for example, pulls my head down and throws a few knees. Boom, and now I'm like in a lot of trouble, right? There are ways to deal with it when they pull your head down, all right? But we're not gonna discuss it for now, but just a very important concept. Tony, do that again on me. He can knee me in the body, but now my head does not become available to him. So sometimes you don't need a technique to stop what's happening. Sometimes you just have to deny the person what they want. So sometimes you're gonna scooch in, or the person is like Laraj, so like somebody like a brick, you know. Sometimes I scooch in, you go like this, but nothing happens. You just like, you hit a wall, all right? So instead of forcing it, this is just my entry to get to my underhook, all right? Because from here, the underhook is a mile away. There's no underhook there, it's too far away. But I get the hands, I scooch in, boom, I hit him with this one, nothing happened, no worries, that's my underhook. I'm gonna create my angle, and now I hit him with the classic sweep, and now I'm on top of the person. So that collar tie, taking away the post, is just your setup to get to your underhook that you wanted all along. All right, so those are 3 scenarios, guys. Let's run through them. We're just adding the little hand fight in the beginning, and then we're gonna see which reaction the person gives us, and then we're gonna react accordingly. Cool? Let's go, guys. Really nice question. He was saying, like, Jackson, can you repeat the question for the camera?
So when you go into like a traditional butterfly sweep and you post your head on their shoulder, what's the purpose of having your head there?
As opposed to
just having it floating or on the other shoulder?
Yeah, let's talk about that, all right? Let's talk about it from like a wrestling standpoint. When I have Tony here, like when I have Tony here, if I'm able to keep my, if I'm able to put my head right here, for example, on Tony's neck, Tony, without moving my head, go for single or double legs on me.
Impossible.
See what I'm saying? His single or double leg equivalent would be the butterfly sweep. Okay, meaning, if I'm here with Tony, if I go for an underhook but my head is floating, if he puts his head into the soft piece of my neck here, now that's gonna make my sweep really, really hard. The cool thing about the butterfly, the reason it works for smaller and bigger, bigger and small, whatever, is once we're here, now Tony and I are one body. We are one unit. But if he's able to put his head, for example, in front of my neck, we are 2 units. So from here, I may be able to sweep him, but most likely not. And now he's going to be able to step this leg back a little bit, for example, right? He's going to be able to grab my ankle. He's going to grab me over the back. He's going to circle. He's going to spin me. He can do a lot of different things. So my head, when it connects to his body, now it makes us one. And then when we fall, I land topside up. Okay, really good question. Yeah, you don't want to have your head like floating. Also, like there's many other reasons, right? So like if Tony's head is floating, if he's in on a butterfly, he has an underhook, let's say, but his head is floating a little bit, like you can chin strap the person here, all right? And once I chin strap, I'm gonna start to separate their hips by placing my hand on the mat. I'm gonna start to lift myself up. I'm gonna start to walk around. And I'm gonna start to maybe pass the guard. So I can do a lot of stuff like that. If I'm Sean or I have a good guillotine, you can like roll for some kind of crazy guillotine, all right? So again, your head being here connects the 2 bodies and keeps you safe from a lot of different things, all right? So guys, now we're gonna talk about a different perspective. Sometimes like you're in these battles where they're on their knees, they're not really passing, you're in your butterfly, maybe nothing is really going on. Sometimes you gotta change the game entirely, and you wanna have good submission threats as well, guillotine being one of them, right? So a lot of times that I'm here, we're kind of hand fighting. Sometimes he's gonna be going like defending, like going back away from me. Yeah, exactly. I just wanna change things up. So all I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna start to do the same thing, except I'm gonna heist up at the same time. So I'm doing my collar grip, but I'm bringing my head above his. For wrestling applications, Cal, if he starts to stand up, this is now my invitation to start to go into like wrestling exchanges. I can use those grips to have wrestling offense as he's standing up, and he's gonna be backpedaling. So for me, it's good. All right, so again, we're here. I throw the hands away, I come up, and we're gonna say he's not gonna go for that. For Chris and others, what if he tries to double leg me here? Now I go back into my butterfly sweeps, right? So it's all connected. But for today, what we're gonna do is, as soon as we heist up, we're gonna push their head over to the side, and we're gonna wrap it with the guillotine. Guys, it's very important that if you get a bird's eye view here, you cannot see any hair. This is very different than this, okay? These are 2 different guillotines. This is not gonna really work. He's gonna be able to come out really easily. This is really, really snug. My chin is gonna go far on his back. I'm gonna choose an armless guillotine for this example. I'm gonna create a little gap between my chest and his shoulder, and I'm gonna reach and I'm gonna grab my own pinky. When I'm here, guys, don't sit. You wanna start to bring yourself as close to the person as possible, and then you wanna sit, okay? From here, guys, Tony's gonna wanna put his shoulder onto my chest and square me up. Exactly, yep, exactly. And walk towards me. Walk towards the wall, yeah. Okay, pause. So that's, go back a little, Tony. That's the importance of this leg. Tony, do that again. You're able to keep the angle with the bottom leg. You see that? And this one is just gonna reinforce it by going nice and high over the back. From here is a finish. All you gotta do is do a crunch towards your left, and you get a really, really nice tap. You wanna keep the integrity of this angle where his body is away from my body. You don't want his body to start to line up and be in the same line as your body, because here, you're gonna feel like you can't really finish it. Your elbow's too far away from your own hip, all right? So again, you wanna make sure you fall at a good angle. So hand fight, this guard, rocking up, bringing the head over the top, going for the guillotine. Grip is very simple. I'm just grabbing my pinky. All right, I'm going for the pinky. My chin goes nice and high in his back. Now I'm bringing this nice and close, and I'm sitting just like this. All right, from here all I gotta do is a little side crunch, and my training partner taps immediately. All right, it becomes a really, really tight choke. All right, and again, sometimes it's just an advantage. You can win a fight just with an advantage, and now he's like, oh, this is a new element of the butterfly. Now he's gonna be even more hesitant to pass my guard. Cool, let's give it a try, guys.